What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the For the Lob podcast, presented to you by the Love of Ball Network, and brought to you by your host Gavin today. It's been a little bit since we've gotten an episode out, but we're back with one trade every team should propose on the first day of the 2025 NBA offseason. An article by Greg Swartz of Bleacher Report. Thank you, Greg. I just want to talk a little bit. First of all, thank you all for listening and watching. This will be on YouTube and on Spotify. So if you are seeing this on YouTube, please go check it out on Spotify and go listen to it. Follow, rate us 5 stars. It goes farther than you know. And if you're watching this or listening to this on Spotify, please go to YouTube, subscribe. The YouTube is still growing, not very well, but you know what? You guys just like listening on Spotify. That's all right. So this is like I said, one trade every team should make at the beginning of the offseason. I think it's interesting with player movement now. I mean, we'll see a lot of player movement. Some big names, like as we see right here, Kevin Durant is probably going to get moved. Giannis might get moved. Some pieces with what's happening with the Boston Celtics. So honestly, let's dive into it real quick. I do want to say, Aaron, my beloved co-host, has been going through some stuff. Not my business to tell, but we're working hard to get things back into the swing of things and get you guys some regularly scheduled content. So if we don't mind, I'm going to move this off to the side and let's get started. So trade number 1. If I can... Atlanta Hawks. Wow. Yeah. First trade. Look at that. First trade. Atlanta Hawks receive Kevin Durant. The Phoenix Suns receive Zachary Richase, Onyeka Okongwu, Terrence Mann. 2025 first round pick, top 12 protected with the Kings. Okay. So I'm not sure how that pick would convey if it goes top 12 for the Kings, but let's look at it here. So the Hawks would get Kevin Durant. Their core would now be, Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, Kevin Durant, obviously, and then a hole at center. And then they give up Richase, who had a pretty promising rookie year after being the number 1 overall pick. Onyeka Okongwu, again, a guy who on paper looks like a really good center, who seems to be in the shadow of Clint Capella, but given that starting role this year, didn't look phenomenal. I'd give it one more year till we label him a bust or whatever. The absolute monster of a contract to Terrence Mann, which is how they can make the money match with Kevin Durant. And then a potentially juicy first-round pick via the Sacramento Kings. I'm assuming if it doesn't convey that that first year being this year, top 12. Actually, we know the draft order. So if we go to here, is it top 12? Kings. So it is not top 12. So therefore it would go to, it fell to 13. So the Hawks, that would be the 13th overall pick this year. So, man, that's interesting. I don't like this for either team, if I'm being completely honest. I think the Suns probably would win it more than the Hawks, and that's funny saying that the Hawks get the better player. That's usually how these trades go. But it looks like here that the Hawks lose so many of their players that, it'd be a team led by a 36-year-old Kevin Durant, Trae Young, and Jalen Johnson. Other than Jalen Johnson, they have Dyson Daniels too, but they just don't have a center. They already have a lacking center with Onyeka Okongwu. They're going to lose Clint Capella in free agency most likely. And Richase, again, showed promise. I don't think it's worth buying in. Now, the only reason I could see this is the East is so weak that they're like, all right, this is the year We should buy in. We should do it. I don't think that's enough. If this trade happened, I wouldn't put them over the Cavs. I wouldn't put them over the Pacers. I wouldn't put them over the Celtics. Probably not even the Pistons. So they're mortgaging their future for it to be a 5th seed, 4th seed in a weak East. Not so much. I'm going to give that a, but okay. But flipping it for the Suns, I wonder if no, it's 1 of 30. So this doesn't count for the Suns. It counts just for the Hawks. So for the Suns, I like this a lot. You get rid of Kevin Durant. You get 1 pick this year. Thank God you get a pick. You probably go get a big, just whatever big's available at 13. There could be a plethora of big men. And then Ricochet, you can develop next to Devin Booker. Okongwu, oh, well, there's your big. And then it really just gives you cap flexibility. That Terrence Mann money, I think, has 2 years left, so not great, but you're just riding it out with you. It's a different look of a team, and it allows you to look kind of towards the future. So not terrible. Boston Celtics. Tobias Harris, Marcus Sasser, 2025 second. Okay, so yeah, the Celtics need to get rid of players. Drew Holiday, Porzingis are the guys to get under that second apron. New ownership does not want to pay. Drew Holiday to the Pistons makes perfect sense for them. A defensive guard, a leader that you can put next to Cade. And you have Cade, Drew, Jaden Ivey. At the 4. Why? Oh, I'm at Asar Thompson, and then Jalen Duren. That's pretty good starting 5, especially in that East. They have the cap space. This is the exact type of player they need. It makes sense. For the Celtics, they get the 1 year expiring Tobias Harris, Marcus Sasser, a guard that you could try and see if you got something out of. And realistically, this is just a salary dump back to the Celtics of expirings to get Drew Holiday for cheap. Brooklyn Nets. They receive Jabari Smith Jr. and Jock Landale, and Cameron Johnson is going to Houston. I don't see this at all. I think Jabari Smith is the younger and better player out of the two. And Jock Landale is fine, but he's not moving the needle here. Houston Rockets gets 3-point shooting in addition to a better playmaker and ball handler in Cameron Johnson at that 3 to 4 spot next to Şengün. I feel like Jabari Smith is being misused in Houston. He doesn't have a great handle, sure, but sitting him in the corner and just letting him do that and kind of ride isn't really what I think his value could be. So letting him go to the Nets could really blossom and either build up value or be a cornerstone to that team. And if you're the Nets, I think you take this in a heartbeat. But if you're the Rockets, I don't see why you do this. I would try and get at least a couple seconds with Cameron Johnson. I feel like you're trading the better player. And I don't know. Doesn't make much sense to me, but Nets, I would love it. Rockets, I'd want a little bit more, but I do think Jabari Smith Jr. will be on the move this year. Potentially in a Giannis trade if they want to go get Giannis. You never know. So, but you know what? I guess this would be because this is as the Nets perspective. So yeah, the Nets would be. I understand that for them. The Hornets get DeAndre Ayton, and the Blazers receive Josh Green, Yusuf Nurkic. It's pretty much just the Blazers getting rid of Ayton's contract, and the Charlotte Hornets getting a big that they can try and rejuvenate, even though it's not going to work. Nurkic, just a bad contract at this point, and Josh Green, a young player, another guard that the Hornets the Blazers can just scoop up and try and develop with all the 30 other guards there. This is just a trade of all time. I don't see DeAndre Ayton doesn't have much value, so getting a young guy like Josh Green out of it is probably more than they're expecting to get, so that's fine. Chicago Bulls, Rui Hachimura, Shake Milton in a second-round pick, and get Vucevic. This is more of a less is more for the Bulls here, of the Bulls getting rid of Vucevic and sending him to the Lakers for Rui, Shake Milton in a second. That second's probably going to be pretty... Oh, wait, that second already has value, so that's going to be a late second. But I don't see why you'd do this for either team. Vucevic is not the center the Lakers need. The Lakers need an athletic lob threat, rim protector. Vucevic is none of those things. And Rui and Shake Milton, again, do nothing in Chicago, but that was more of just like getting rid of Vucevic, just finding a suitor for Vucevic. So, I don't know. I don't really like this one. I think there's a lot more better centers that fit LA a lot more. And again, for the Bulls, you're just trying to get rid of Vucevic. So that's fine. Cleveland Cavaliers, a second overall pick for Isaac Okoro. Yeah, this again, it's a salary dump. They're going to have to pay Mobley. They're going to have to pay Garland. They're going to have to pay Mitchell. They're going to have to pay all these guys. And with Okoro making $11 million a year, I know this because I just did a mock Giannis trade with Giannis going to the Cavs, Mobley going to the Spurs, and all the picks in the world going to the Bucks, and the Nets getting some salary filler. So getting rid of Okoro while he is probably the 8th or 9th man on that team, freeing up all of that money, yeah, that makes sense. Getting it to your stars. I mean, I think a Jared Allen trade is in play this year. I feel like he's the odd man out of that core four. They've been very adamant that they're not going to trade the core three, being Mobley, Garland, and Mitchell. So Jared Allen has stupendous value, being an elite rim protector, lob threat, like a 15 and 15 guy. He'll go out there and get you what you need. A 12 and 12 guy. Mavericks. Oh man, this is interesting. Austin Reeves and Jared Vanderbilt for Klay Thompson and Daniel Gafford. No. I think the Lakers hang up immediately. I think the Mavericks try and do this instantly. But Austin Reeves is way too valuable to get back these guys. Klay is practically, he's fine, but he's not great. And yes, Daniel Gafford is the exact center they need. But I don't think you give up Austin Reeves for that. Austin Reeves is so much better of a player than either of these two combined. I think if you're doing this, you're getting 1 or 2 first-round picks back for this package. If the Mavericks add a couple picks back, maybe that Lakers pick that they got in the Luka trade back, I'd be fine with it. But if you're trading Reeves, you're getting a higher quality center, which is what they need. And I do think Reeves could be on the move this year. But if you're trading Reeves, you're getting a Jared Allen type center. You're getting a Bam type center. You're getting a center that is a top 15. Is Daniel Gafford a top 15 center? Top 10, top 15 athletic lob threat, which yes, Gafford is that, but he's not worth Austin Reeves. Denver Nuggets. Dante DiVincenzo for Peyton Watson and Zeke Naji. You know what? I think this is a win-win for each trade. The Timberwolves get a long, lengthy, athletic guy in Peyton Watson and Zeke Naji, who's just contract. And then Dante DiVincenzo could really blossom next to Jokic. A great three-point shooter, a good defensive guy. He's kind of what they wanted out of, what's his name? I forget who I'm trying to talk about, but it's kind of a perfect guard next to Jokic, and he could come off the bench or start. It could be Murray, Dante, Porter, Gordon, Jokic, which is what I would assume would be the starting lineup unless I'm missing someone. So yeah, not a bad trade for both sides. I like this a lot. Dante's kind of struggled to fit in that Minnesota team. He's been fine, but he's coming off the bench, probably the 7th or 8th man. I think he has more value. A lot of people have more value next to Jokic. So Jazz. Oh, wait. The Pistons. Pistons receive Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton. Whoa. Okay. Let's unpack this. Detroit Pistons receive Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton, two fantastic scorers with little defensive upside, but you have the Thompson brother, you have Duren, you have you're giving up Jaden Ivey, Ron Holland, Isaiah Stewart, Tobias Harris, and a top 10 protected first-round pick. So you're giving up a lot of depth, but you're getting a lot of players in return. Your starting lineup after this would be Cade, Colin Sexton, Thompson, Asar Thompson, Lauri Markkanen, and Jalen Duren. That's not a bad starting lineup. But then your bench is where it gets tricky. You're not going to have Malik Beasley next year, most likely. You're trading away Tobias Harris. Isaiah Stewart's gone. So coming off the bench would be, who knows? So I like the starting lineup. There'd be some more stuff to do around the edges. But the thing is, I don't know if I'd give up Ron Holland. A top 7 pick, top 5. I think he was number 5 last year. Top 5 pick. He's showed some stuff that you want from a rookie. That's the real, and along with Jaden Ivey looked very, very good next to Cade. These two next to Cade looked very, very good, and I just don't know if the Pistons would want to give all that up to go get these guys. It pushes your timeline forward with the youth of these guys going out, and I think Lauri Markkanen's 29, Colin Sexton might be 29 as well. I wonder if they say it here. Oh, Markkanen who turns 28. I'm sorry, he's 28, but older gentleman going to a younger team to provide that veteranship. I mean, it's not a bad trade. It just leaves you questions with depth, which we've seen depth get the farthest in the playoffs so far, being OKC and Indiana, who are both up respectively 2-1 on both of their series at the time of recording this. Golden State Warriors, Jakob Poeltl for Moses Moody and Buddy Hield. After watching the playoffs, I don't know if Buddy Hield's getting traded. He kind of turned it on in the playoffs, especially against that Timberwolves series. Moses Moody, he's a guy who just is just trade bait at this point. Same with Jonathan Kuminga. I'm almost positive we'll see a Kuminga trade in one of these. But yeah, they need a big. They don't have a big. Draymond, as great as he is, they need size. I mean, that's what killed them in the Timberwolves series. If you think about all these good teams in the West, you have the Thunder with their double bigs. You have you have Jokic, you have Şengün and Jabari, you have Wemby, obviously. You have AD on the Mavs. You have all these super talented big men that the West is so stacked regardless that you need size and rebounding. And yeah, Jakob Poeltl can do that. For the Raptors, just a young guy and a shooter. Buddy Hield's always going to have value to a team just to bring shooting. And a young athletic guy in Moses Moody that they could see they can get more out of. I will say, any trade with the Warriors where a guy shows flashes, you take it with a grain of salt because that Steve Kerr system is so strange being on that team. So I don't know. I like it. But here's the one we've been waiting for. Houston Rockets with Kevin Durant. So Houston Rockets receive Kevin Durant. I'm interested in seeing what the package is for this. So the Suns receive Jabari Smith Jr., Reed Shepherd, Dylan Brooks, Jacques Landale, and the Suns' 2027 first-round pick. Man, I love Jabari. I think he'd fit in perfectly next to Devin Booker. Reed Shepherd, honestly, at this point, if I'm the Rockets, I want Cam Whitmore over Reed Shepherd, just because Reed wasn't very good, and Cam Whitmore has shown more, but he's getting paid soon, so then Dylan Brooks to make the salary filler and depth, honestly. So looking at this from the Rockets side, I mean, obviously they walk out of here keeping Amen Thompson, Şengün, even Tari Eason, which is phenomenal. And their starting lineup would then be Van Vliet or Amen at the one. So Amen Thompson, Jalen Green, Tari Eason, Kevin Durant, and Şengün. It's a great starting lineup. And then for the Suns, you get a lot of depth here. You get Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, could play the 1 and the 2. And then at the 3, you'd have Dylan Brooks. At the 4, Jabari. And then at the 5, you're Jacques Landale. I don't know. You're figuring it out. So, interesting trade nonetheless. I don't know. Oh, I mean, you have Nick Richards, but would you start? I don't know. So you'll probably draft the guy if I'm being honest. But the most important thing here is that 2027 first-round pick. This allows them to try it next year, the 2026 season. If it doesn't work, blow it up, tank that 2027, start the rebuild. Indiana Pacers, Cam Johnson for Jarris Walker, Aaron Nesmith, and Johnny Furphy. Cam Johnson's not this valuable, man. He's just not. He's a good role player who'll come off the bench or be a plug-and-play guy. Jarris Walker and Johnny Furphy maybe, but now you're adding Aaron Nesmith, and Aaron Nesmith has really played up his value in these playoffs. I mean, he hit 5 threes in a row to close out that Knicks game of Game 1. It's so interesting that they have Cam Johnson this high valued in Bleacher Report. Who was the author's name? If I go back here. It was Greg Swartz. He's a big Cam Johnson fan. Is Greg Swartz from Brooklyn? He might be. So, again, I agree that a 3-and-D wing is definitely someone they need. They need more of a POA defender, point of attack defender. But Aaron Nesmith at this point is that. Aaron Nesmith is what you want out of Cam Johnson. He's not as tall as Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson being 6'8". But I don't think you're giving up that much for Cam Johnson. I really don't. God, they got Kevin Durant going ever. Whoa. Okay. Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers receive Kevin Durant, and the Suns receive Kawhi, Cam Christie, and a 2031 unprotected and a 2030 swap. Oh, why would either team do this? I think Kawhi. It's a lateral move. I don't think Kawhi's a needle mover in Phoenix. I don't think Kevin Durant's a needle mover in LA. I just don't think it changes anything. Now this I like. Wow, for cheap too. Los Angeles Lakers receive Walker Kessler, and the Jazz receive Dalton Connect and a 2031 unprotected first-round pick. This is the exact type of center they need. Second in the league in blocks behind Wemby this year. Phenomenal rim defender. Phenomenal just defender in general. Not a out of this world lob catcher, but he doesn't have out of this world lob throwers to him, so you don't really know that. And he have LeBron and Luka throwing lobs to you. So I think this is probably the perfect trade for the Lakers, and I think this is who they should target the most this offseason. I think a guy like Jared Allen would be too expensive, but Walker Kessler or Mitchell Robinson or maybe even like Rob Williams on these cheaper lower tier guys. I love Walker Kessler. And I think if you can get him for Dalton Connect in a 2031 first, which that 2031 first is going to be less valuable now because Luka's on the team, but still pretty valuable because you don't know. I mean, that really fills out that starting lineup. You're not even giving up Austin Reeves. So it's still Luka, Austin Reeves, Braun, Dorian Finney-Smith, Jaren Vanderbilt, Rui at the and then Walker Kessler. That's a great starting lineup. Now, I don't think Austin Reeves works with Braun and Luka very much, so you want to look into trading him to see if you can get something while his value's at an all-time high right now. So, but yes, I love Walker Kessler to the Lakers. And as the Jazz, getting a young guy who showed promise, that's probably who he'll be, is just a three-point shoot specialist. You're really interested in that pick. It's to get rid of the salary that you have to pay Walker Kessler, and that 2031 pick is really what they're kind of looking for here. Memphis Grizzlies get Keldon Johnson for Brandon Clark, John Conchar in 2 seconds. I mean, sure. Kind of getting rid of some of their depth and cashing in on a better player. I love Brandon Clark. I think he's phenomenal. I know you can see behind me I've got a couple Grizzlies posters. So, you know, right here, and there's one right there, and one right there. So I am partially a Grizzlies fan. And Brandon Clark struggles with injuries, but he's probably getting to the latter half of his career. John Conchar, he's just a bench guy. Keldon Johnson can come in, score, defend, kind of do everything that they need. But I don't think bolstering up in the Western Conference is what the Grizzlies need to do. I think they need to blow it up, unfortunately. Miami Heat, man, everyone's getting Kevin Durant, huh? The Suns get Khalil Ware, Terry Rozier, Duncan Robinson, and 2 first-round picks, one being this year, one being 2031. And the Heat get Kevin Durant. I don't see why they do this. Kevin Durant and Tyler Hero in the East. I mean, maybe that's, again, a 4th or 5th seed. Maybe Terry Rozier's terrible. Duncan Robinson's terrible. Both of those together, plus Khalil Ware. So it's Terry Rozier and Duncan Robinson for the salary. The real tantalizing pieces here is Khalil Ware and the 2 first-round picks. I just don't think either this is a needle pusher for either team at this point. I mean, Kevin Durant, you want, if you're the Suns, either a good picks back or good players now to match the timeline of Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. And you're just not getting that with these guys. That 2031 pick is very, very juicy, though. I mean, 6 years from now on the Heat, who knows who will be there? So, you know, it's interesting. I don't like all these Kevin Durant trades. I wish they were a little more creative in this article, but, you know, who am I to judge? Milwaukee Bucks, Jalen Smith receive Jalen Smith from the Bulls, and the Bulls receive Pat Connaughton and 2 seconds. Sure. Stretch, rim protector, athletic guy that has potential next to Giannis. Sure. Oh my gosh. Minnesota Timberwolves receive Kevin Durant. The Suns receive Jaden McDaniels, Rob Dillingham, Dante DiVincenzo, and a first round pick this year, top 13 protected via Detroit. If we go to that, what team are on Timberwolves? That would be pick 17 this year. So that would go to the Suns here. Jaden McDaniels, I think, has peaked as a player. I don't know if he'll get offensively better, but he's an all defensive guy. Phenomenal perimeter defender, can sit in the corner and hit threes. Rob Dillingham, you have untapped potential. Dante DiVincenzo, you know where you're getting. But it's a lot of guards for a guard-heavy team already. And if you're the Suns, you want more big depth. I mean, you have Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, who, yes, aren't part of, well, Bradley Beal isn't part of the future, but that's still clogging up minutes for a developmental guy like you want with Rob Dillingham. I'm not comfortable with Dante DiVincenzo playing the three with his height. So it's interesting. I don't think this would be the package. I think it would have to be some sort of Rudy Gobert plus Rob Dillingham plus Jaden McDaniels. That, if I'm the Suns, I'm more interested in. That's a center. That's a defensive piece. So, but the thing is, it's just like the West is so tough, and this is not a needle pusher for me. Like I said, I don't see why the Timberwolves would mortgage all that to get Kevin Durant. New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans receive Jabari Smith Jr., Reed Shepard, Tari Eason, and Jacques Landale, and the Rockets receive Zion Williamson. You know what? I think I love this trade for both sides. The Pelicans can get off the Zion money. They can get off and move on and wash their hands of that. Jabari Smith, Reed Shepard, Tari. It's sad seeing Tari Eason go. Love Tari Eason. Played 1 year at Cincinnati. Shout out UC. But at the same time, he's good. He's valuable, and you get the Terror Twins to go to New Orleans and try and cook there. Reed Shepard, untapped potential. In the eyes of the Pelicans if they're trading for him. And then the Rockets get their star. The Rockets get an athletic freak that they can pair next to Jalen Green and Şengün. All of the defense kind of goes away, so that's a little scary. You're really relying on Dylan Brooks there and Amen Thompson to be your defense. But, yeah, I like this trade for both of them. I like that as a Zion trade. The Knicks get Dalton Connect, Rui Hachimura, and Dorian Finney-Smith. And the Lakers receive OG Anunoby. Yeah, I like this for both teams. The Lakers get a perimeter defender to guard those tough people in the East, being, Shea or Ja or just all of the good guys. A great defender, owed a lot of money. That's the thing here. And then the Knicks get depth. They get Connect, they get Rui, they get Dorian Finney-Smith. I like this for both teams. I think the Knicks would ask for a little bit more, either a second or maybe Bronny, or I'm just kidding, but a second or something like that they would probably want a little more. But it's a good trade for both. I like it. The Thunder cash in for Lauri Markkanen. The Thunder receive Lauri Markkanen. The Jazz receive Topic, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Kendrick Williams, Ousmane Dieng, a first-round pick this year, top 14 protected from the Heat, which is pick 15. So that is the hold on, we got to scroll back there. All right, so pick 15 this year and a 2026 Thunder pick for next year, which will be in the late 20s. So okay, let's break it down. They get Topic, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Kendrick Williams, Ousmane Dieng. The tantalizing pieces here are obviously all of them, but Topic, Dieng are guys who you don't know fully what they are. So if I'm the Jazz, I'm excited about that. Isaiah Joe is valuable, potentially could be a deadline move or a young guy that grows with them. Aaron Wiggins is a microwave. When he gets hot, he gets hot. Kendrick Williams is just, I don't see he's just there. And the Thunder get Lauri Markkanen. Now, it's funny to me after watching all these playoffs that none of these guys really play in the playoffs that the Jazz would be receiving here. So the Thunder are this dominant, and they just add Lauri Markkanen, which is just another stretch. Sometimes the things that's killed them in their very few losses for the Thunder have been the 3-point shooting. Lauri Markkanen solves that, along with size, rebound. I like it a lot more as I talk more about it. But if I'm the Thunder, I want to keep these guys specifically, Topic and Joe, because you are probably going to move on from Dort here soon. He's immensely valuable, and he's making $20 million a year. And with having to pay Shea upwards of $70 million that he's eligible for now with his Supermax extension, you're going to have to start dispersing money elsewhere. So I'm a little hesitant to get rid of those guys, but you know what? And Laurie signed a 5-year deal. So if you're doing this, your core is going to be Shea plus Laurie, plus hopefully Chet signs a team-friendly deal and Jalen Williams is on a max, and then just young guys. So doing this would really shape the future of the Thunder. And because of that, I don't know if the Thunder would do this, but the fit is wonderful. Orlando Magic receive Trae Young, and the Hawks receive Anthony Black, Cole Anthony, KCP, Tristan Da Silva, a top 5 first-round pick via the Nuggets, which did not go top 5, and a 2027 first-round pick via the Magic. This is the exact player the Magic need. I think this is a perfect trade for both teams. I think the Hawks should go into rebuild mode, build around Ricochet, Jalen Johnson, and whoever they draft this year. Cole Anthony, Anthony Black are a fantastic guard duo that you're getting back. KCP is just salary filler. And then those 2 picks this year is exactly what you need. And then looking at, and obviously Tristan Da Silva, a young guy who showed some promise, but you can play around with him. And then the Magic received Trae Young. Oh my gosh, that is the perfect guy that they need. You have the offense. They need a scoring 3-point shooter. That's a facilitating scoring. Like, that is Trae Young. You have Trae Young, the defense of Jalen Suggs, the defense of Franz and Paolo, and then Wendell Carter, Goga Badazzi, one of those centers. I love it. I love this trade a lot. When Fox was rumored to get traded, I was really pushing for the Magic to get Fox. But Trae works even better. This is probably my favorite trade that they've come up with this entire time. This next up, Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers receive Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, and Pat Connaughton, and the Bucks receive Paul George and 2 seconds. I see why they're doing this. It's to get off the money of Paul George for the Sixers, and in return, they get pretty shitty players, Pat Connaughton, Kyle Kuzma, and then Bobby Portis could be fine. But in the Bucks are hoping to get more out of Paul George that they saw, but they have to deal with his money along with Dame and Giannis. But fully healthy, all of them could be potentially something in the weaker East. I understand why both teams would do it. Both teams are just trying to get rid of a problem that they have. And they're both succeeding in this trade. You know, the Bucks are taking a chance on Paul George, and the Sixers are getting rid of Paul George's contract. So, honestly, I like this trade a lot for both teams. The Suns. Okay, this is the last Kevin Durant trade. That's what he said. That's what Greg said. Phoenix Suns receive Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Max Christie, and the Lakers' 2029 first-round pick. And the Mavericks receive Kevin Durant. I think if you're the Mavericks, you do this instantly. I think if you're the Suns, you think about it and then probably do it. It gives you your big depth. It gives you Klay Thompson, who can just come off the bench. And Max Christie showed a lot of potential. And that first-round pick is really where it's tantalizing here. And then the Mavericks receive Kevin Durant. So looking at it from a Phoenix standpoint, starting lineup would be Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford probably. And then, actually, the more you say that, I don't know. Coming off the bench, Max Christie, Grayson Allen. You know, it's interesting. And it's a first-round pick. They're getting off of Kevin Durant. I think they just need to keep selling their players, the Suns. So if I'm the Mavericks, I like this a lot. If I'm the Suns, I think there's some better offers for Kevin Durant. Portland Trailblazers received Nikola Jovic, Terry Rozier in a second, and the Heat received Jeremy Grant. The Blazers get rid of the Jeremy Grant money, and the Heat get talent. That's a win-win for both sides. I like it. Sacramento Kings get Andrew Nembhard and Jarris Walker, and the Pacers receive DeMar DeRozan and a second-round pick. Andrew Nembhard and Jarris Walker. This is interesting. I like this for both teams, I think. The Pacers would then be Tyrese Halliburton, Aaron Nesmith. Was that their 2? Is that their starting 2? Yeah. DeMar DeRozan, Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, And then you only lose a little depth. Jarris Walker wasn't playing much anyway. And if you're the Kings, you get off the DeMar DeRozan money and you get some young players. Yeah, I really like this for both teams, except I don't think it'll happen because the Pacers do not pay the luxury tax. But yeah, I really like this for both teams as well. Moving on to the San Antonio Spurs, get Isaiah Stewart, and the Pistons get Keldon Johnson. Yeah, why not? Just hopefully you didn't hear that. The Spurs get Isaiah Stewart, sure, just a big to put next to Giannis, and a defensive menace, really. And the Pistons get scoring in Keldon Johnson. Yeah, I like that a lot. Toronto Raptors. The Raptors get Dalton Knecht, Jared Vanderbilt, and the Lakers receive Jakob Poeltl. I like this a lot as well. Yo, Greg's cooking towards the end of this. After the Kevin Durant trades, he's doing good. The Raptors get a young player in Dalton Knecht and Jared Vanderbilt as salary filler, and they get off the Jakob Poeltl money. The Lakers do get a center. I don't think this would hopefully for them be their backup center or a power forward and run double big. But it addresses one of their center issues and not really giving up much. The Jazz. Oh God. Okay. This is for the Jazz. The Jazz receive Khalil Ware, Nikola Jovic, Duncan Robinson, Terry Rozier, the pick. We already went over what pick this is for the Heat. It is pick 20. The 20th pick this year and a second round pick next year. And then the Heat get Larry Markin and Jordan Clarkson. So the real pieces of this are Jovic and Khalil Ware in the pick 20 this year for Larry Markin and Jordan Clarkson, or just Larry Markin. The big three in Miami would be Larry Markin, Bam, and Tyler Hero. I just don't think that does it, man. I don't think you're giving up a lot. This is actually pretty similar to the Kevin Durant package. But yeah, no, I don't think either team does this. I don't think I think the Jazz do it solely for Khalil Ware. But yeah, I don't like that one. Washington Wizards receive Zion Williamson, and the Pelicans receive Marcus Smart, Corey Kispert, Keyshawn George, 2030 first round pick, top 20 protected. Damn, via the Golden State Warriors. So that'll actually probably convey in 2031, and it'll be unprotected then, and that's a pretty valuable pick actually. I don't think the Wizards do this. Why they would do this, I don't know, because they're not on the Zion timeline. Why the Pelicans do this, just to get off Zion, I don't know. A lot of weird ones. Overall, there's a few trades here that I really did like. There's a lot that I did not like. Let me know if you guys want to see me do more of these. I had a lot of fun. A little 37-minute episode here. Again, this will be on YouTube and this will be on Spotify. So whatever you're on, go to the other one. Please interact with it. I really need it. All right. Like I said, Aaron should be back soon. We're just, everyone goes through stuff. So again, I apologize for everything. Follow, like, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, share with your friends, share with your mom, share with your sister, share with your dad, uncle, cousin, dog, everyone. I'll see you all next time.